Alien Invasion, Leroy's Last Stand, by Reuben White. The world lay broken and battered, a once vibrant tapestry of life reduced to a desolate canvas of destruction. It had been years since the alien invaders had descended upon Earth, their merciless onslaught leaving nothing but scorched earth and shattered dreams in their wake. Humanity, once a thriving garden of civilization, now clung to existence like a fragile vine in a hurricane's path. Leroy had survived the cataclysm, emerging from the ashes of the old world as an unlikely hero. His soulful blues guitar had become his only companion, its mournful notes echoing across the barren wastelands like a requiem for the fallen. With each melancholic strum, he breathed life into the collective grief that hung heavy in the air. Yet, beneath the mournful melody, Leroy bore a burden hidden from the world. It was a burden he carried in the form of a series of enigmatic letters, their origins shrouded in mystery even to him. Each letter was a puzzle piece, a cryptic testament to his family's past, and a tantalizing glimpse into a world that had crumbled like dust. As Leroy ventured deeper into this apocalyptic nightmare, he knew that the alien invaders were the architects of Earth's downfall. Cold and inscrutable, they were beings whose motives remained as unfathomable as the vast, starlit expanse they hailed from. Their technology had reduced the world to a transformed, hostile terrain where resources were scarce, and every day was a battle for survival. Leroy's internal conflict was twofold. He grappled with the weight of his family's secrets, buried beneath the ashes of the old world like the remnants of a forgotten city. Each cryptic letter he carried was a testament to his family's past, a past that held both the key to humanity's survival and the potential for its annihilation. Externally, Leroy's journey was fraught with danger. The desolate landscapes were riddled with marauders, scavengers, and the ever-present threat of the alien invaders who had claimed Earth as their own. In this unforgiving setting, Leroy's quest for answers led him into the heart of danger, where he would encounter fellow survivors. Some were allies, bound by a common desire for answers and a longing for the world that once was. Others, driven to desperation by the cruel circumstances, had lost their humanity in the struggle for survival. Leroy's path would also cross that of a mysterious figure, known only as the Harvester. The Harvester was a ruthless antagonist who commanded a band of merciless scavengers. Their motives were as enigmatic as Leroy's letters, their actions driven by a desire for power and control in this shattered world. They coveted Leroy's letters, recognizing their potential to reshape the fate of humanity in this new world. Their clash would become a battle not only for Leroy's survival but for the very soul of humanity itself. The setting was a harsh and unforgiving post-apocalyptic world, where the ruins of once great cities lay shrouded in dust and despair. Skies perpetually darkened by alien technology cast an eternal gloom over the land, and the world was a patchwork of danger, from irradiated wastelands to crumbling urban remnants. As Leroy navigated this transformed landscape, every step was laden with metaphors. The barren terrain mirrored the emptiness of his own soul, the relentless struggle for survival a metaphor for the indomitable human spirit, yearning to rise from the ashes. Resonance of Ruin, Leroy's strain, was a tale of resilience and redemption in the face of annihilation. In a world where humanity's very existence hung in the balance, Leroy's blues became the anthem of a new era. The secrets he carried held the power to determine whether hope would prevail or be swallowed by the shadows of extinction. And so, in the midst of chaos and desolation, Leroy's mournful guitar continued to echo across the wastelands, a haunting reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could still find its voice and sing of its indomitable strength. Leroy's journey through the apocalyptic wasteland stretched on, each day blending into the next like a series of bleak and endless verses. He traveled alone, his footsteps echoing through the silent ruins of what had once been a thriving city. Nature had begun to reclaim the land, with vines creeping through shattered windows and trees sprouting from the cracks in the pavement. It was a cruel juxtaposition of life and death. His guitar, the only possession that had survived the cataclysm intact, had become an extension of his very being. Its strings resonated with the mournful cries of a world lost to chaos and devastation. As he played, Leroy couldn't help but wonder about the letters he carried, the cryptic messages that held the key to his family's past and the fate of humanity. One evening, while camped beneath the skeletal remains of a skyscraper, Leroy decided to revisit the letters. He spread them out before him, their aged pages crackling in the breeze. Each letter was a riddle, a puzzle waiting to be solved. They were his only connection to the world that had been, and perhaps his only hope for a better future. As he read and reread the letters, Leroy noticed patterns emerging from the cryptic messages. Clues and hints began to surface, like whispers from a long-forgotten era. They pointed to a location, an underground facility known as the Sanctuary. It was a place of legend, rumored to hold the key to restoring Earth and defeating the alien invaders. With newfound purpose, Leroy set his course for the Sanctuary. It was a journey fraught with peril, as he navigated treacherous terrain and encountered fellow survivors. Some joined his quest, drawn by the glimmer of hope that the Sanctuary represented. Others, scarred by the brutality of this new world, saw Leroy's mission as folly and chose to remain in the shadows. As Leroy and his growing band of followers neared their destination, the alien invaders seemed to become more active and aggressive. Their technology was beyond anything humanity had ever encountered, and they moved with an eerie and calculated precision. Leroy couldn't shake the feeling that the aliens were aware of his quest, that they saw him as a threat. One night, as the group camped near the Sanctuary's presumed location, they were ambushed by a swarm of alien drones. It was a battle like no other, with the mournful strains of Leroy's guitar providing an eerie soundtrack to the chaos. The survivors fought valiantly, but it was Leroy's determination and the enigmatic letters that ultimately turned the tide. During the battle, Leroy discovered that the aliens were not invincible. Their technology had vulnerabilities, weaknesses that could be exploited. With newfound resolve, he led a daring raid on an alien facility, hoping to uncover the means to level the playing field. Inside the facility, they found a wealth of information, including details about the aliens' motives for invading Earth. It was a chilling revelation, an impending cosmic catastrophe that threatened not only Earth but the entire galaxy. The invaders believed that by subjugating humanity and harnessing their collective willpower, they could somehow avert this cataclysm. Leroy and his band of survivors now had a choice to make. They could use the alien technology they had discovered to confront the invaders head-on, or they could seek an alternative solution, one that might spare humanity and offer a chance at redemption. As they continued their journey toward the Sanctuary, Leroy couldn't help but reflect on the metaphorical weight of his mission. Just as he had carried the letters and the burden of his family's secrets, he now carried the hopes of all survivors. The music of his guitar had evolved from a mournful lament into a rallying cry for those who still believed in the resilience of the human spirit. Resonance of Ruin, Leroy's strain, was a story of survival, sacrifice, and the enduring power of hope. In the face of insurmountable odds and an alien menace, Leroy had become a symbol of humanity's refusal to surrender. The secrets he carried were the keys to Earth's salvation, but the true power lay in the indomitable spirit that refused to be silenced, even in the darkest of times. If you are enjoying the Mystery Within channel, feel free to hit the subscribe, follow, or like buttons for future updates and posts. Thanks.